Welcome to DataViz Daily. I'm Kevin McGinley, and we're still working with our City of Los Angeles listing of active businesses here. So you can see that we created our latitude and longitude column in the last episode, and now we're going to kind of address two different columns here that we're going to do a little bit of manipulation around. First is this location count. I'm not going to actually build this live for you, but I will show you how I built it and how it's important to think about building something like a measure into the stage area. The next thing I want to talk about is this NAICS description field, the North American Industry Classification System. So, if you look through this table that I sort of pre-built ahead of time, there's a lot of these categories, and it's kind of overwhelming. It's a little bit hard. It feels like we need a sort of another level up. And so if we come in here and actually, create a filter around this guy, one of the things that you'll see is if I go ahead and just type out services here, there are quite a large number of classifications that have the word services in them. So wouldn't it be nice if we could group all of those together into, a higher level number? And the good news is we can. So we're going to go over here to the stage area, load up the data file. While we're doing that, let me talk about the process for creating the location count. The first thing that we're going to do is we'll just go ahead and duplicate the column that represents the location account number, and I'll show you that once the data populates here. You can see that here, so I just use this simple function here called duplicate, and that just created a second copy of the column for me. Then I had to come in here and use the inspect feature to actually take that location count, which I renamed, and turn it from an attribute, which is what you get after you do the duplicate, and change it to a measure with a count aggregate. That's what will get me the exact ability to be able to slice and dice this location count by any of the other attributes within the data set. But now let's talk about the NAICS column. So if we come here, we've got this column here called the primary NAICS description, and what we're going to use is this group feature, which basically, if you're familiar with OBIEE, is going to be very similar to the binning function. But if you're not familiar with OBIEE, what this is going to do is it's going to help us build a case statement. And so we can come in here and add group, and it defines the first group for us. And I'll go ahead and expand that, and you can see there are 290 total entries or values within here. And I'm going to do the same services search that I did before to find all the objects that have services in them. So it's going to do a search on that quick. And then what I can do is I can actually click, and you can see by clicking on the first one it selects it, adds it into the list. But I can scroll all the way to the bottom here and I can shift click. And that will add all 51 descriptions that have the word services in them to this particular group. I can also come in here then and actually change this to services. And I can also check this checkbox which says include others. Now in this situation, because I'm trying to keep this short, I'm just going to do services for now, and then everything else is going to get binned into an others category. So we'll go ahead and hit OK there. You can see that I've now got another column here, and it's populating others or services depending on which category it falls into. Then doing something as simple here as going back to this tabular view here, I could grab my new group column, which I should probably rename, but I won't for the purposes of this demonstration here now. If I drop that on my table view instead, I will get a table that now shows my location count by others and services. And the great thing here is I could, if I wanted to, right click on services, drill, and actually select my original NAICS description field, and it would now add a filter up here at the top on my group and allow me to drill into which ones, all the different services ones. So now my list is a little bit shorter. So that's an example of how you can use the group feature to build a case statement calculation that allows you to group items into a higher level sort of aggregation. Thanks for watching.